Welcome everyone to the latest episode of Another Car Channel. And as always with me, Courtney, Myers, and Jason Andrews. What's up, guys?
We're back.
We're back. Hello, everyone. Been a while.
Mhm.
Hitting that refresh button, waiting for episode whatever, but we're here.
I'm sure they have been desperately hitting the refresh button.
Desperate.
All good. Well, since the last time we got on the pod, a lot has happened. And we're going to start with the highlight, which is Courtney's car has finally hit the track. Not only it has hit the track, it has hit several tracks. But I'll let him tell the story on the latest developments and everything else that happened and how we got here.
Yeah. No, so it has hit the track with a vengeance. Long story short, the shop I was working with, we cut them out of the photo because the service was not there, to say the very least. Just wasn't the right fit, and it was becoming more evident every day. So I got a lucky introduction to Dean Martin at Core Motorsports, and him and his team took it the rest of the way, did the motor install, and put all the other track goodies in. And that has led to some other exciting developments, such as sponsorship opportunities, where my business, Freedom Finance, has been sponsoring some of the GT4 races. So that's cool, but we'll save that for another time. And I've done the firm a couple times, hit Daytona for a session, had a little mishap there. And then had a good day at the firm today, and then we're doing Roebling next month, and just a fury of track days. It is dialed in, and it is fast. You can see my screen right here. This is, it's backwards. It's probably backwards, isn't it? Dang. But this says, at the firm, 114.79 at the firm, with a theoretical best of 114.79 because I hit that on my second lap and I didn't push it further. So definitely more in the car. It was starting to rain, and I used today as an opportunity to heat cycle a new set of Michelin Pilot Sport slicks. So in the winter, this car has a 13, maybe a 12 in it. It's that fast. It's dialed in. Super excited to see how it performs these upcoming track days. But car's back. It was literally we're about a year in. It's about a year since it went down the first time. Had a few little mishaps along the way to get here. I replaced a starter. I replaced a wheel bearing. I had a hole in a radiator hose that caused me to leak fluid and have to be towed off the track at Daytona. Just little annoying things that could happen to anybody's car, but of course they all happened to me at once, and I feel like I kind of got all that stuff out of the way and ready to give it the beans. So that's the update. I'm having a lot of fun and super excited to have that thing back on track.
I've got so many questions. Can I ask anything I want?
Anything you want, and I'll choose whether I answer or not. But.
Okay, so you take your car to shop A. They pull the motor, they send it out to whoever's building it, RPG, they're building the thing. They get the engine back, 3 or 4 or 5 months later, and you're so frustrated with that initial shop, your car's there at the time, right? Mm-hmm. So you're like a no bullshit guy. Is it like, yo, I'm towing my car somewhere else, give me my money back? Was there like drama? Was that hard, like a hard thing to do?
No, it wasn't drama. Part of the reason the car was there for so long is because of how Shop A fumbled things and didn't send deposits on time and all sorts of stuff. I called them and said, hey, I'm taking my car elsewhere to get it finished. They had the car and the engine crate at that time. So Mario gave me a hookup on a towing company. Shout out to Barefoot Towing. Shout out. They went, picked up the car and the motor, so had the car on a flatbed, the motor and associated parts on a trailer behind it, and hauled it to Daytona. And after
Yeah,
that,
nice.
it was so easy. The car was done quick by professionals, and just no. Speaking of no bullshit, it was done. There was like one little goof that when I left from the shop, they forgot to tighten a shifter bolt. But I limped it back there, and they fixed it. And other than that, relatively um, no issues. So
And so
I'm
you
gonna
said the car's
interject
like,
for a second. Hang on, hang on.
go
'Cause
ahead.
he's gotta tell the whole story. We had a track day plan for Robley, okay, with PCA, and they had promised him that his car would be done by that track day. We tracked the engine, like the tracking number, and it got to the shop with enough time for them to put the engine in the car. They did not do that, and they try to play it off as, oh no, it's still on the way, or some lie. But we
mhm.
knew the engine was at the shop. At that point, Courtney lost his bearings, rightfully so, and we pulled the car and ended up taking it to Core Motorsports. He ended up going. We still went to the track day at Roebling. He ended up taking his S5. He put a set of Pusher time attacks on a Audi S5 and destroyed a bunch of Porsches that weekend. But we can talk about that in a second.
Yeah.
But he gave that shop the opportunity to finish the car to make it
Oh,
to the Roebling track day, and they did not do that, and that's how it ended up at Core
yeah.
Motorsports.
So, so I no, I didn't intentionally omit those facts. I've just tried to like shut all this out of my mind because it just pissed me off so much. But yeah, that was the gist of it. And I emailed RPG and kind of got on their ass a little bit and said, "Hey guys, what's going on here?" Because I was hearing one story from Shop A, and then I emailed RPG, and he kind of told me exactly how everything was going down. So then I had the insider scoop. He gave me the tracking number on the engine, and yeah, they fumbled that, and just bullshit excuses. And anywho, so yeah, that's how it ended up.
So what's the lesson here? If someone else is in this situation, you don't bullshit around with some shop that rebuilt a LS in their back, right? You just go to the best of breed and you send it to the best, right? Is that the lesson, or would you have done something different?
If Yeah, I think if I had this opportunity, if I was in this position again, yeah, the lesson is if you're going to go this route and rebuild an engine, and it's your race car that you're in six figures, yeah, don't try to go cheap and easy. And I think the main thing is do your research, ask around, talk to others who have had work done there. Because once I had my car dropped off at Shop A already, other people started telling me, yeah, I don't know if I would have done that, and blah blah blah. But the car was already tore in half at that point, so I was giving him the benefit of the doubt to get it done. So I would have asked those questions beforehand, and done my research. I don't know that, you know, would I have known to take it or had the ability or option to take it to Core Motorsports right away? I mean, no, I don't know that anybody can just take their car there. Not that I'm special. I just got an introduction. But take it somewhere known and trusted, and talk to people who have had similar work done at the shop. That'd be my recommendation.
And so, just last question: could you have just shipped your whole car to RPG and just have them put the motor in themselves?
I don't think so.
I believe they just do engines. Like I
I
don't know
believe,
if
yeah,
they.
yeah, because they
Yeah.
No.
wanted, they had it crated to them and back. So as far as I know, that was just an engine shop, and yeah.
And when you say the car's like way faster now, is it just motor stuff, or did Core do some other things while the car was there?
Yeah, so as far as the motor goes, like when I got the motor back and on the dyno for the first time, it made same or lower horsepower than before. Um, I got a tune that tuned it up a little bit, so I think right now it's making like 470 wheel, and before probably the same or a little less, right? Um, but the main the main reason it's fast now is because of suspension and bushings. And Mario witnessed it today, like going around turn one at the firm. doing that at stupid speed, and it's just perfectly level and planted, like very little body roll. I've never driven or ridden in a car that's felt more planted or in control than that car is right now. So it had a pretty significant suspension upgrade, like poly bushings throughout, vertical links, a good alignment on it, and pretty stiff Magneride conversion suspension from AJ Hartman. So all of that together, plus running a true slick, that's what's going to make it so dangerous.
Yeah. And then, so Mario, is Courtney still is he now faster than a stock Z06 at the firm, or no? Are those things still faster?
So we'll have to see when we can compare in equal conditions, because the Z06 that went 12.9 was like, I think it was like 65 degrees outside. So Courtney went 14.7 or whatever it was today, and it was, I don't know, 98 degrees, some ridiculous, so I crunched some numbers, and I believe he could be right at that ballpark. A theoretical 12.9, 13.1, so probably within 2/10 or as quick as a Z06.
Yeah.
And that 12.9, that's a carbon aero car, or is that a base?
I'll get back to you on that.
Yeah. I mean, regardless, it's a 670 horsepower, 0 to 60 in 2-something, car. And that's not what 350s were ever made to be, and I'm still running stock power. If I let's put it this way, Jason, if I tune up to 670 horsepower, this is a 10-second car. This is a 110 per car. Like,
Yeah, I'm a fan. I'm a fan of the R. I'm just playing both sides here.
Yeah, no, 100%. I'm limited by power, so I don't know if I'll ever hit I'll never hit a 110 in this car, or 111 or anything like that with current power levels. But I do think if today's track day was in December or January, and set 60, 70 degrees outside, it's running 12s and 13s.
It's pretty crazy, built motor. Sure, you got some tuning left and stuff that you could do, but there's no way you're getting Z06 horsepower out of your motor, right? NA, right?
No.
There's no way, right? It's a pretty crazy feat that the Z06 did, right, with an NA car. It's a little bit bigger, but still impressive.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, the most I've ever heard of 350 NA having was like 540 or 550 wheel, which I guess that would round up to probably 600 crank, and Z06 is 670 crank. So kind of getting in the ballpark, but yeah, nobody's a voodoo's not.
Yeah.
But,
I believe
you guys want to stop on the? Oh.
I was just doing the research. I believe it was a 2LZ Z06 with the carbon trim. So the carbon
aero. Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah.
Is it just me, or is the amount of Corvette models getting sort of annoying?
It's not just you. I don't quite understand what they're doing. So, number one, I'm wondering why we haven't gotten a ring time yet, because they basically live there now. Like they're there every week. So either they're not happy with the number, or there's, more and more time that they keep finding. I'm not sure. And then they've come out with this, 01X or whatever it is that was supposed to be the Zora. And I can't help to ask the question, why? Like the Z06 was phenomenal, is phenomenal. And then the Z01 blows it out of the water in every category. And then we're going to go make this one like it's a hypercar, and we're talking a Corvette that is going to be a $300,000 ballpark. But what's the goal here? Like, I don't understand what Chevy's doing. It's almost as if they said, we're going to take all of the Camaro budget, we're going to put it into the Corvette, and see if we sell some cars.
Yeah, to me, it kind of weakens the name a little bit. Like, I was sort of frustrated that the Shelby GT350R, the 500, is almost the same car as the V6 you can rent at Hertz. I don't like that. I couldn't even name every, Challenger model they have. You know what I mean? And then now with the Chevy, they have 5 or 6 different Corvette models. So, there's something about just a bespoke car. You want an S2000, you just buy the S. That's all you get. Mm-hmm. a Viper. That's all you get. A Gallardo. That's all you get. There's no bullshit trims here. It's like it cheapens the brand, the name for Corvette, in my opinion.
And sorry, Mario, but from a business perspective, I'm not running, Corvette marketing, and I don't know what the hell they're doing, but I think they could milk this a lot longer. Say, hey, we have the Z06, we have the ZR1, we have the ZR1X, but push that out a couple years and let things get better and better and better. Let the ZR1 run its course. But that's just me. I don't know shit about marketing cars. I just know about my business. But anywho.
One
I
of
have
the
to
theories,
imagine that.
Go ahead, Jason. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just have to imagine that the market for those top tier Corvettes, the ZR1, ZR1X, the quick release of the ZR1X is going to undercut sales from the ZR1, I assume. If you've got 100%. That much money, it doesn't make a lot of sense. And I get it. It's cheaper to do what they're doing. I would rather just a bespoke car. Like the Ford GT is awesome because that's what you get, the Ford GT. Chevy doesn't have that car.
Yeah. Well, so I heard somebody say that they kind of cornered themselves in this position because these trims didn't come until like the 5th model year of the C8, right? Like it's not like they came out the base Stingray came out in 2020, and then let's say I know that the Z06 followed like 2-3 years later, but now they've done a little bit of a refresh for 26 with the interior and some things, but they're getting close to the end of what's going to be the C8. They're thinking that there's a C9 coming soon, so they either waited until the C9 to release all these models, or they do it in the last few years of the C8 run. But I have a friend, and you guys know Kerry. He's waiting for his ZR1, and so jokingly, I asked him, "Are you gonna cancel and get a ZR1X?" He's like, "Nope, I'll just get one of those too." Which again, and I don't think he was kidding. He's that well off in life, but a lot of people are like in every Corvette group that I'm a part of, because I'm part of a lot of them. Everybody's just like, "Oh, this is BS," because the ZR1X does sound that much better, like all-wheel drive and the boost to pass and like all these cool features they've added to this thing, and it undercuts the one they announced 2.5-3 months ago. That was already badass. I don't quite get it.
I'm the same, and we've been talking about this since episode 1, but I just can't imagine for the price. I mean, you could get 3 ZR1s for the 1 GTD, right? I mean,
right.
I just don't get it. I don't get it.
And it is weird that, so if you guys remember when we had like episode 8 or 9, they went to all these American tracks and they were bragging about how they broke all these records, but they've been so hush-hush about the ring time. But they're there. I kid you not. Like there's spice photos of those cars at the ring every week. So not only now, and when they do it, I don't know if they're doing it during private sessions or like public road hours at the ring. Because if it's private sessions, it costs a lot of money to shut the ring down and be private. Because this is a public road, so they're spending, if they're renting it, they're spending an ungodly amount of money. And why? Like, just release a time. Like, do what Ford did. Ford put out a time. They say they weren't happy with it, and they would go back. And they went back and got even quicker. Like, kudos to Ford for that. I'm not sure.
I don't know. If Chevy just drops the hammer and it took them 3 weeks, but they run a 629 or something like that, like it's just going to be shut up everyone else, right? I could understand that if they're really close to a time that's just insane.
I guess so. Yeah.
Because if they released a bullshit time, it's like, oh, but we're going to try again next week. I think that would be kind of lame.
I see that point. I can agree with that, yeah. Well, it's one of those things that, number one, it's kind of sad that all three of us haven't been like on track together for a long time. But I think one of the things that we've tried the most is to hit up like different tracks. And again, I give Chevy a lot of credit for going to all these places and trying to show how dominant this car is. But I'm kind of hoping that soon enough, the three of us and a GTD and a ZR1 are on track at the same time. It, may not belong to us, but I know that there are people who are getting deliveries of their GTDs, and ZR1s are starting to get delivered. I saw like 3 or 4 got delivered last week. I think I don't know if it was Paragon Performance or another like big Corvette shop that just got theirs. So they're coming. They're starting to be delivered. The GM plant is no longer shut down. It's producing parts and producing cars. So
Forgive my ignorance. Has anyone actually taken a delivery of the GTD yet? Like even online, I don't watch. Are they
I
out there? Or
believe
no?
so. I believe so. Because
So
I
the
saw.
guy-
Go ahead, Courtney.
Right. I was gonna say I follow Vinny Giggs on IG, and he's kind of this self-made guy and has all these cool cars and shit. And he was like, I think when he said,
Well, I guess I did a quick search, and this, according to Google AI, it has not been delivered to customers yet.
Yeah, I mean, Speed Phenom is the only guy I know. I think he had like the first delivery of the GT500, and he's a rich YouTuber, and he's a big Ford fan. I just haven't seen anything him like has it yet or anything. So
this guy said, like, I think they told him July. He posted on May 17th, the Mustang GTD will be here next month, which obviously missed that. So I think they're kind of running behind what they told people. But I think he came out and said July. So I think this summer we'll start seeing GTDs. Yeah.
what about any of our good buddies? Are they still getting their Mustang GTDs? Anybody know? Like if our circle became a square, is there one coming?
No, that's probably not going to happen.
No.
So just, I can talk about this publicly. When we were at Roebling, Anthony came with us, and he shared with me that obviously all options were on the table, right? And there were some conversations with some people that, were interested in making something happen alongside with them. And it's just a tough deal to make. We'll put it that way. Just because of the legality of it and Ford's conditions and stuff like that. And again, I don't know if I think I saw a sticker, and I'll send it in the chat later. I think I saw a GTD sticker, and before add-ons, this thing was like $328,000 and some stupid number, like before markup, before anything. So odds are a car with no options plus any markup over MSRP is going to be north of 350. And getting that finance is the problem. So what Anthony told me, and I think he said that on the episode he was on with us, that what the bank won't finance is the markup. And so basically what Ford is doing, which is basically the same thing that Chevy was trying to do with the ZR1, is when they ask you for a down payment, the down payment is going to be the markup. So if it's $100,000 or $70,000, you have to put that down, and the bank won't touch that. Once they've taken their cut and you have your deal with the bank, the actual price of the car is what the bank will finance.
And I'll tell you guys too, like, you have to have a damn good relationship with a bank and a lot of assets on deposits and a long borrowing history with six-figure cars for them to even think about a $300,000 car loan. Like, no matter what MSRP is, no matter what your credit score is, like, we're not talking like, hey, I can pre-qual via my Chase.com authorization. This is like relationship type shit that humbly most people don't have.
Somebody up higher in a bank is approving that. Like, you have to have that relationship 100%.
Yeah, what's the famous one? Is that like Willwood? Is that right? Courtney, do you know? Is that the
you're talking about Premier?
Willwood. I don't. I hear about a lot of people. Woodside, exotic car finance.
So Woodside is one, and Premier Financial Services is another. And Premier Financial Services, and I'm not affiliated or anything, but I helped somebody get a car loan for Bentley through them, and they're pretty lax. As long as you put 20% down, it's very hard to get turned down as long as the deal makes sense and you have good credit. And again, you can prove that you can pay for this loan.
And they're financing for what, like 12 years, 15 years?
They do they do the house
terms,
style
right?
house style loans. Yeah, it's like 120-month loan. Yeah, yeah. But that's how most of them do it. Like, hardly anybody buys a car of that amount without that type of loan, because again, the depreciation and the interest and everything else.
Yeah, 20% down, 70 grand. Like, how many people do we know that could write a check for 70 grand?
Yeah, it's a tough one.
Well, the three of us. I mean, we could. Just,
You see the way that my
100%.
checking account is set up, I can't. Um, but no, it's crazy because again, we talked about, like Jason, you've talked about getting a Z06, and I've kicked the bucket around more and more and more because I'm in love with my car. Looks like we lost Courtney for a second, so we'll give him a minute.
Am I here? Am I back?
he's back. We got him.
You're both saying reconnecting on my screen.
Oh,
you both-
I see everyone.
That's
Same.
strange.
I turned my camera
Okay,
on.
you're back. You're back for me, Jason. Courtney's not back. But again, we'll
Dude.
carry on because it's all uploaded individually anyway. But the Z06 has become like really attractive to me. But then at the same time, I'm very happy with my car. I'm currently going through some challenges with the setup. I'm reaching like the end of the capabilities of the stock setup with the car. I've done a lot of tracking. I think I'm almost at 9,000 miles, and most of them have been track miles.
Truth.
I track a lot, and
But you're daily driving the car too. For the
not
most
anymore.
part, right?
Not anymore.
You're not.
No. So since I guess probably since around our Roebling trip about 3 months ago, I started just focusing on more like using the car for the track, and our Roebling trip was amazing. My first time with PCA, and it was great. But then that was the weekend that I started to notice like a lot of the weaknesses in the setup, like the front end, like the understeer is just atrocious. Like once you start to push, and even if you add a sticky tire, it's hard to balance the car without inducing that understeer. Then we did the firm a bunch of times, and a couple weeks ago I hit. It is a slower time than the Mustang in comparable conditions, but the car is faster. It just can't hook up the lap. So either at the beginning of the lap you're understeering, or if you try not to overheat the tire, you're making up the time at the end of the lap. But it's just not like my theoretical best with the Corvette is faster than it was ever with the Mustang. But the difference is the Mustang was so much better set up out of the factory. Like the GT350 setup out of the factory is amazing, and the weight of that giant V8 and on top of the front tires, it just helps it hook up. Versus the C8 has nothing in the front to help it, so it just induces that understeer. Courtney drove it on track a couple of weeks ago, and I'll let him give his impression. But
I was slow as shit. I ran like a 120 in this thing, and I was giving it the beans. I'm just never. That was the first time ever driving a mid-engine car, and like did not know how to handle its behavior. So, anyhow,
it's a lot different to rotate and all those things. That again, the GT350, for all its unreliability, if you will, when it's on track, the car is so well. Like it'll kill you if you don't do things right. But if you know how to drive it quick, it's very quick.
So what's the fastest you've ran in the C8?
At the firm 17.1.
7, and you were running 16s in the R,
Mustang,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But my optimal in the Mustang, my fastest optimal ever was a 16.4. My current optimal in the C8 is a 16.1.
really a whole second.
Yeah.
But until you drive it, it doesn't matter.
Right. So, but the thing is, and we're talking in the middle of summer. I never got to drive the R with good tires, with a good setup, in like a cooler condition. When I said my fastest, you were there that day, Jason. It was like 92 degrees outside, and in the middle of summer. Versus, and the lap with the C8 was about 2 weeks ago, and then I went back today, and I was nowhere close. Like my tires obviously have lost a little bit of grip. And again, I was doing like 17.4, 17.5, 17.6. I couldn't get back to that 17.1. But so the things in the pipeline is I'm planning to lower the car a little bit because out of the factory you can adjust the height about 3/4 of an inch, and I've ordered a sway bar for the front and the rear, which will help with some of that understeer. It'll make the car a lot more pointier. And I am not running a full track alignment. I'm not even running 3 degrees of camber in the front. I'm at like 2.5. So there's still a lot of performance to be unlocked. I believe with those couple of mods, this car is a low 15-second car at the firm.
Sound like me, just throwing more coin at it.
On 200 thread wear tire. Well, I haven't thrown any coin at it.
Okay.
Like, but yeah, I mean, I guess I bought some tires, but that was about it.
Well, and also, not for nothing. Like we're still kind of learning these track attacks.
Yes.
Which Jason, Mario and I, we're becoming resident experts on the Hoosier Track Attack, their newest 200 treadwear offering, and they're very strange in
so weird
wanting heat. Like, we start at 35 cold and let them creep into the 40s. Like, when you start them low, it's
driving on ice. It's just terrible.
It's very strange, very strange.
And Hoosier tells you they want the heat.
They want the heat. Yeah, it's very strange. But anywho, it's better than the Cup Juice. It's better than the. Everybody talks about the Supercar 3Rs. It's way better than those. But I don't know, Mario. Do you think like the Super Trofeos, like that could be a difference?
The Super Trofeo to me is still the best tire I've driven on anything.
Yeah. So I mean, you're talking about.
But to be fair, the Super Trofeo they're rated as a 180 thread wear tire, so it's a little bit softer than a 200. But again, it's not that big of a difference. But I think the Hoosier, it just does so many different things every heat cycle that you don't quite understand what the tire's doing. My Super Trofeo, or my Trofeo, Super Trofeo RS, I did over 100 laps on those tires before they fell off. And they handled the exact same every single heat cycle. Versus my Hoosiers 2 weeks ago, they were like, okay, great, set me up at 35 PSI, don't touch me for the rest of the day, and I'll be sticky. And I did that today, and it's like, nope, you're ice skating for the rest of the day. And so it's just very, very strange.
Mine were getting a little sketchy today too, man. So the track was hot. So long story short, Jason, we're learning this tire. I think it's going to be a good one. And
it is a good tire for sure. And for the price, they're under $2,000 for him and for me. Mine is a little bit different because I'm not running that wide of a tire in the front. I'm only doing 265s in the front versus he runs 305s in the front. So,
but that's where we are. I still like the 71 RS. I still like this tire a lot. I don't have all the experience that you guys do, but this has been the fastest tire I've been on.
Well, you could have all the experience that we do, but when we invite you to track days, you don't come.
So yeah, Jason, tell us what you've been up to. You've been a little bit off grid, and what's going on? Are you moving to Italy? Are you selling the cars? Are you buying more cars? Give us an update.
Well, I'll tell you right now. Let me share something that I would have bought had I been staying. How can I share this real quick? Share. You guys already both know this car, but I saw this on Facebook Marketplace. Can I do this? Allow? God, this is stupid. You guys can see this?
Oh, it's sold. Yeah.
It's sold. We talked about this car a couple of days ago.
Yeah, I sent this car to Courtney like 3 weeks ago. It's the V8, so that's the only thing. If I literally wasn't moving, I would have bought this car. 200,000 miles, V8 Audi, whatever. We all like it, the R8. Gated manual, factory gated manual. It's got some aero on it. Gated manual. And VF supercharger. This is like a $20,000 mod just on top of this car for nothing. For cheaper than any of our cars, basically, except for the S2000. God, supercar. So I bet this thing just rips, and it's got so many miles on it, you wouldn't even care what to do with it, you know?
Yeah.
With aero, carbon brakes,
like
gated manual.
Yeah, it's not factory splitter or wing, so.
Yeah, this was a deal. Every once in a while, every once in a while, something crazy comes up. But alas, so selling my house, that is obviously taking some work. Put it on the market a couple weeks ago. Got a bunch of offers, as I assumed we would. Mainly, you're a finance guy. What's kind of funny is like my mortgage right now is assumable at 275, and so because of that, I think we were able to ask a little bit more money. And so I don't know if we're going to distort prices in our neighborhood or something for selling for a one-off price because of a low mortgage rate. But we got a bunch of offers. We're under contract now. Did the home inspection, a few little things that we'll kind of tidy up, negotiate, whatever. But should be out of the house sometime in middle of August, I assume. I don't know exactly what I'm doing with these cars. Probably selling them. Probably selling both of them. I don't want to sell either one of them, but I don't want to pay to keep them insured and in storage for the next 4 or 5 years either. So, yeah, so that's what I'm probably doing with these things. If, like I said, if I was staying, I wasn't, it'd be a whole different thing. But yeah, definitely going to Italy. All that's still in the works. I'm making a quick pit stop in Virginia Beach for a little while before I head over there. So that's going to be a unique living situation. Also, I'm going to be basically camping it out of an RV for a while. I've made some offers on some pretty cool RVs, so we'll see if it pans out. It might be a stretch for the Rivian to pull that thing 400 or 500 miles or whatever it is up there, but I'm going to give it a shot, I think.
Until that program gets pushed out, but carry on.
Yeah, I still got a job. Going down to Miami for a couple weeks next week. And then as soon as I get back from that, I'll have a little bit of time off from work and really just be focusing 100% on the move, unloading everything. I don't know. Maybe.
We have to do one track day.
One track day, bro. Like
before you go.
Okay, then we have to do it. Yeah, I mean we have to do it. I just don't know. I don't know if I have a car. I don't know what's the vibe. So
drive the R, man.
Yeah, drive one of our cars. It's not like
yeah.
Yeah, like whenever
Anyway,
I think one of the days Courtney showed up and his R was having hiccups, I just said, hey, go drive my car. Like, you're not going to waste a trip out here. You had a good time.
Yeah, the other thing I'm balancing is, because Andre and Sage, they're going to Italy when I'm going to Virginia Beach. And so I'm really trying to capture as much memories and fun as I can while I got my family here, because I'm going to be without them for a little while when I'm in Virginia.
You're going to be without us for a long time.
Yeah, but I got this. I can't have a podcast with Sage, I mean, he doesn't know what the hell's going on.
Sage, what the fuck is that? Sage is paying taxes, like.
Yeah, he needs to start paying for the groceries.
6 foot. 2 feet.
Anyways, whatever. I'm just busy. I'm having fun. It's fine. The life is just crazy. I've been unloading some drum stuff. I've been downsizing everything, for better, for worse. I'm sure it's going to work out in the long run, but in my mind, I sell these cars, I just dump the money in the market, I get back, I buy my Lambo or something. That's kind of where my mind's at.
Fair enough.
Hey, I haven't really driven the motion sim. Do you want to buy a sim rig, Jason?
I'll tell you what, I was watching F1 today, and I was like, man, some of the funnest time I had on that rig was like, during an F1 race weekend, was getting in the W12 F1 car and really getting to know the track and then watching it.
Yeah.
And like seeing, can I even come close to these guys' qualifying times in the similar car? Man, that was so fun. I do like that a lot.
Yeah, I just haven't driven it at all.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But
before we wrap, let's try to. Obviously, Jason, you say you're going to Miami. You're doing a couple things. Courtney, have you shared with Jason our Roebling track day? Is he up to speed with that? So next month, Jason, we're renting Roebling on a Monday. I think it's Monday.
Or anybody who
This is July. It's in July.
Yeah,
July 28th.
July 28th.
July 28th.
Have you driven Roebling?
No.
Okay. Well, yeah. Come.
Um,
That can be our last hurrah. It's a Monday.
It's a Monday, so again, maybe we do something for the weekend up there, and then we go to the track on Monday. I mean, we can get really creative with it, but but if not, the firm is fairly accessible to all of us, and let's make sure
the
that
28th might be doable. Yeah, might be there. I think I'll be off of work.
We will record on location, and we will send Jason off the proper way.
That's right. Last time Mario and I were at Roebling together, we had a private chef come to the Airbnb.
Yeah, it was a bit of an experience and a great meal, and not for nothing, but we destroyed a lot of people's egos in their Porsches. I think mainly Courtney because he was in a four-door Audi that had no business being out there,
No
and
business.
he probably got I don't know 30 to 40 point buys like
Yeah.
on both days. Like it was wild. I think the only point buy he gave all weekend was to me.
Yeah. Well, no, the one guy in the 600 horsepower Mercedes got quick by the end of the weekend, but
Okay. Oh, that's right. And then he ended up cooking his brakes. That's right.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
the
yeah.
one. But other than that, yeah. Yeah. So Jason, we'll see you the 28th now.
We'll see.
Yeah,
between-
yeah. We'll plan on that.
A month from today.
Well, now that
And we'll probably
Courtney has
record before
yeah,
then too.
Of course. Now that Courtney has a running car, I think we want to. I want to spend a little bit of time next episode talking about Daytona. Courtney did Daytona for the first time, and even though it wasn't very long, because he only got one session out of the car, it was the first time that he drove at a track where he could experience all of the horsepower for the car and being at full throttle for. I think at Daytona you're at full throttle like twice the length of the firm. Think about that.
Mm-hmm.
Like on throttle alone. And so it's really cool to see these cars go beyond the horizon of the firm. And also, since we last recorded, Courtney drove a GT4 at Roebling, and so that's also something that I think he should share with the audience.
Yeah.
It was a BMW M4 GT4.
And here's what I find interesting. No offense, Ryan, if you're seeing this. I would pick my car over that M4 GT4 all day long.
Wow.
Interesting.
Now, it had AC seats, but Mario and I we've installed chiller systems in our cars because we're bougie and it's hot outside.
Real quick, it's not a plug, but I'll tell this story real quick. So, Courtney learned about those AC seats, and he came to us like, "Hey man, what do you think about installing a chiller in my car?" And I said, "Well, let me get back to you." And I knew this guy who was selling. He sells it's called Ultra Chiller. And I sent him a message that, "Hey, if I buy 2 units, would you give us a deal?" And they were already discounted. And he goes, "If you buy today, I'll give them to you for, I don't want to say the price, I don't want to get people blowing up his phone, but a really good price, shipped to your door, shirts included." So I texted Courtney, I was like, "I'm buying it. We'll figure out the money later. Like, we can't pass this deal up."
Yeah.
And he literally made them, because he makes them himself, and shipped them to me and had them to us before Daytona. Core installed his in Courtney's car. I custom made a bracket for the CA Corvette, patent pending maybe, and I've installed one in the Corvette, and we're running in the summer. Cool as ice, pun intended. So
Love it.
shout out to Ultra Chiller for the hookup.
Best money. Actually, I haven't paid you back for that. Anyway, I'll get your next time we're staying somewhere. I'll cover your
Best money Mario has spent. We'll put it that way.
Mario has spent on my behalf, like bar none. Amazing.
Yeah. We filled it up with ice at the track today, hooked it up, and you just sit in the car.
Like,
The heat's not a problem, so
great.
perfect. And we will show you in person, Jason, when you do a lap in Courtney or my car.
Can't wait. Yeah.
Cool.
Awesome, guys. We'll wrap it there. I will get prompting to editing, and we'll get this out.
Awesome.
Have a good night, guys. Good to see everybody.
See you guys. Yep.
Peace.
Later.
Leave this shit.
I can't hit leave. I don't know.
What the